folks? I am Dave McCready. This is the link. I do paint too. These are just some of my paintings I gotta quickly show you. Um, on Compost Chicken Queens. You can also find a link to a bunch of my artwork that somehow has been saved by somebody, and it's kind of like an online gallery that that's all I got, and she keeps saying, "Oh, I'm trying to help," and it's really frustrating. So, anyways, here's the map. Right away, I should tell you that I drew freehand. I mean, of course, I didn't do it all freehand. Like, I mean, I've used like a ruler once in a while, but I'm a pretty steady guy. Like, you just see the detail. Um, like I know all these buildings, and it's all in the same angle, so that if you look at it, you can look at it like it's if you're in an airplane, bird's eye view. I don't want the light. Oh, it's gonna fall. But like it's a beautiful. Like who could do this at the age of 22, 23? I forget. I was pretty young, eh? And they even erased the year I did, and because I was sure they were trying to rip me off and beat me on the copyright thing because I was scared. I was like, oh, there's nothing else could do. I felt intimidated. We made a verbal, and we made this little written agreement. I remember him signing it too that he would pay me $1,500 upon returning a map. He thought I was going to do a map more like this piece of junk on the back here. I'm like, dude, you want to talk to me about doing something, and you think you're gonna play me? I'm gonna get what I need from you, the $1,500, by working for it, okay? Walking every street, drawing the face of all these buildings, folks, okay? And not giving you something like this where you can renege on it and say, well, I don't know, man. I just can't. Like, can I just give you $200? It's like seriously, like, because really, what were you thinking? I absolutely filled out every, you know what I mean, aspect of the commission, and then that's because I want to do my own thing. That's what everybody wants. That's what a commission is for. That's what an agreement's about. It's not so like he can assume he can just drop a bunch of dumb maps on me and I can walk around the Stratford streets of tourism. Oh, please, sir, will you buy $1,000 map and recognize me? I Dave McCready, I did that. And then finally get a phone call and someone's like, hey, son, Dave McCready, is this Dave McCready? Yeah, I got an idea. I want to draw the mall down the street and turn it into something beautiful. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, sure, okay, we can talk. No, $1,500 in my pocket at that time, and the situation I was in, being helped by a very good man friend of mine in his basement, where I had time to do what I want to do because he wanted to help me, and that's all there's to say about that. God rest his soul. Peace, brother. And vis-a-vis, he was also taking me to university, auditing courses. He was the only person that ever believed me. And it might have to do with the huge IQ that I have now, and it doesn't matter, I'm humble. I'm sick and tired of being humble, and I think we all agree. I need help now. I've been offered finally a job, and I can't even, it's been so frustrating, and I can't even do that now. I think it's done now. I want the $1,500, and I don't want to hear anymore about on his pages about how he's like, oh my goodness, finally someone who's sustainable, loving the earth, just like I feel, has given me a chance to spoke up for me because I've always feel like I'm not doing good enough for everybody. Uh-huh. Well, my dad finally died. For how many years he carried his cross and his burden because he just couldn't be there for his sons, and he made big mistakes, but maybe my dad was right. People stole from me because I could have made and replicated and made a lot of money and helped people, and then actually help people. Because maybe what actually happened, right, is people like Dave DeWeert actually were the person that abandoned me, right, and left me alone on the streets, tired and afraid, and with nothing, and then finally just drained it all out of me, my spirit, and I turned over and just overdosed. And I'm not kidding. This is the kind of things that happen to people in their life. But somehow, my spirit was always guided by joy, peace, serenity, because my dad really did love me as a tiny little baby. My mom breastfed me. She relieved all my anxieties by accommodating with something like that. And my dad just seek joy. And somehow, they're abusing each other and then going to child's aid, being protected from the abuse and seeing it and knowing it. I mean, my daddy did a couple of things to me, yeah, but I forgave him very quickly because I learned all about it in group homes, foster homes, and all that stuff I had to put up with. I did so much work. There were so many groups and repair meetings, and oh, jeez, like, oh my God. I am so aware and so well practiced, and so, like, I'm like starting to study people with trauma and trying to figure out how to, like, save them. And I found everything I ever want now, and I know I don't need garbage like this, a stupid dumb tablet and a piece of junk computer that ain't working, and I have to fix it, and everything always costs money. And don't tell me I ain't take responsibility. Anybody who knows me, I don't want to go back and redo this whole thing again and work on it, because I wanted to work on my own project, and I'll quickly show you a project that I was doing way before this guy commissioned me and at the level in which I could draw. I wanted to get into heavy metal. I wanted to get in juxtapose. I wanted to be number one. That's my right. You want to be number one and get to the Olympics and do it. Nobody has the right to, like, you know, we'll help you get there, and then what? Take all your equipment away and not give you the ability to have the super watch and everything too, because and then you don't actually make it because that's what you're working for too, and they kind of play with your mind. So this is just one scene. Here's the foreground, and there's the background. That's how I could bend perspective. And if you look at it, it's basically in a huge hollow cavity, like in a core mainframe sort of like place. And if you just look at the details of this, I'm going to stop recording right now because I think you get what I'm talking about. I completed this 2 years before I even met the guy. I practiced every day. I just wanted to be the best. Okay? When I was 16, I was drawing at the level in which no one else could. Okay? And there's a heart pumping into all these systems, these guys checking out these computer systems, and they're monitoring what's above the heart, veins and nervous system in there going up through the neck, and a nerve around this part of the head and the neck, and they're at different computer systems and parts of like computer systems accessing this intelligent brain, and then finally this like circle of who, like the round table or something, and they got all these main computers, and then this huge generating thing, because if you look at it, it's a fucking heart, it's a neck, veins, fucking nerves, and a brain. And that's the fucking brain. And what were they doing, these guys? Going in and out of these little doors, getting a little sip of water, taking a pee on the way to work. Like, it was all contained, it was all clean, super futuristic AI. Like, what were they doing? Okay, these guys were at the top of the game, of course. They were the founding executives saying about like what's above the brain, the fucking the seventh chakra, that purple indigo thing, higher intelligence and all our love and compassion for all things. Like, who could do that? And they were just watching the guy. They were trying to understand the nature of his existence. Now, I was just an internal thinker, but I was thinking about life and everything, and this is way before I met this guy. And then even with him, I'd already 60% done while being helped by the guy that really believes me. And then somebody tricked me to move out of that guy's help and under his wing into his place, and I finished a comic book called Eden Sphere, and then that got stolen from me later on, many years later too. And there's no one that's out there that's gonna make me believe that they all didn't know that when I got this back, they knew that Eden Sphere was stolen from me, and that was a huge big cash in for me, because they were all jealous because I was number one. I could run farther, I could work out better, faster, I was smarter. Everybody just wanted to get rid of me. And that's the truth. And you guys ain't got nothing on me like monkey on stink. And as far as I'm concerned, Delirio, he knows I had to sell that stuff to help my son. Bruce was standing right there, and he said, "Oh, we'll help you, buddy." This was a stack. A stack. Our word like this. All like big commission stuff that was twice as big as this, and I sold it to him for $260 so I could just get a dehumidifier for my son, who I thought was going to be right around in the house, and I knew I needed that. It was a super important thing to clean the air too, and I monitored. Fuck, I knew what I was doing because my woman had me working tight, and I think that was what bothered people too. I listened to my woman. I was going to prove everybody wrong. We didn't give this woman love and bedwed. We talked about everything, yo. And then I think what actually happened is that all these people just destroyed us, destroyed her, destroyed me. And you know what? I'll never let it down. So if anybody disbelieves that Dave McCready doesn't have a whiteboard that's the size of a wall, okay, and can work out anything on that, that Dave McCready's got a drafting board, a tiny little studio that if he just spend time in there and mastermind all this shit all over again, make my online gallery, sell posters, have my own virtual Stratford you can fly through with a VR gear and check it out like a tourist would and have super duper fun. Anybody steals that idea from me, well, good for you. This is what the Buddhists would say to you. Yeah. Do you know this much? Okay, so anyways, like this is stuff that I'm like like capitalizing on now. Very complex stuff that I understand that and I want to draw it, I want to transcend it, and nobody would disagree with me. You know, I quickly do stuff like this just to have fun when I paint galaxies that are spinning around, and it all goes back to everything. So I gotta stop talking. There's a tree of life I drew. I painted. It took me 10 hours the other day because I just want to have fun and paint again. You should see my paintings. I could give you the links, but this is the link to one guy who's complaining. Oh, finally someone who lives a peaceful life. You know, I was living a peaceful life, man. And you promised me money. And they finally recognized that I really just tried to help. Okay, goodbye. The link is here. Thank you for visiting my YouTube. I'm always a peaceful person. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. Everybody knows that about me. I just want some justice. And I want to know why. Uh, it was okay just to give me a bunch of dumb maps, walk around and, will you buy a map, please? And assume that I was going to get help from other people. I didn't want help from other people. I wanted to use that $1,500 and live in the basement with my friend who was really support me, pay my rent to him, and because their family loved me and they didn't mind me doing that. Even WO, I wanted to Ontario Works and I made sure that it was okay to be in the basement. I said, can I get a WO? And they said, why? I said, I don't have a right place to live. I'm living in the guy's creepy basement. And they said, where? And I said, on the corner, 92 Welling Street, the baker. And they go, that's okay. That's okay. You can live there. And I went, oh. And then Dave DeWeert fucking tricked me into moving out of there. And then he'd pay me and help me and everything like he was. And then he ripped me off. Anyways, everybody's ripped me off. And it's just, you see, he took me right out of a good thing when if he would have given me the $1,500 he promised, I would have stayed there just fine, maybe married the woman of my dreams and supported us for the rest of our lives. But hey, now I got a burden and that's the cross and I got to carry that. That's not right. My dad did that and he's gone now. God bless his soul. Amen. Bye.